Hi, everybody. Happy Friday. Welcome back to Maddie's Nutrition Mailbag. Oops, I can't see myself. Oh, there I am, I think. Okay. Okay. Hi, everybody. Today's topics are, the question of the day is there a diet for Alzheimer's? So we're going to talk about some research behind certain eating patterns to reduce the risk of developing Alzheimer's. And then the topic of the day is nutrition as you age. So certain nutrients become even more important as you get older in order to maintain muscle mass, to maintain strong bones, and then just other tips for staying hydrated. If you have difficulty chewing or swallowing, or if you notice that some people as they age, foods kind of lose their flavor. So we're going to talk about that as well. So let's get into it because it looks like it is 12:31. So the question of the day, is there a diet for Alzheimer's? So there's no specific one food or nutrient that's been shown to, reduce the risk of developing Alzheimer's, although there's recent studies that show that that diet may be linked to the risk of developing Alzheimer's. So researchers found that specific dietary choices may lower the risk of the disease. So from this study, they developed something called the MIND diet. So researchers followed people on this diet for 4.5 years and found that those who followed it to a T, like really strictly, reduced their risk of Alzheimer's by 53%. And then those who followed it moderately well, they reduced the risk of Alzheimer's by 35%. So that's a significant, percentage. The MIND diet is a combination of the Mediterranean diet and the DASH diet. So the DASH diet, DASH stands for Dietary Approaches to Stop Hypertension. So the Mediterranean diet emphasizes healthy fats from fish and oils and nuts, plenty of fruits and vegetables, whole grains, and legumes. So beans, lentils, a small amount of eggs, small amount of dairy, and a small amount of meat. So emphasis on the plant foods and on healthy fats from fish and nuts. The DASH diet, the Dietary Approaches to Stop Hypertension, also emphasizes fruits and vegetables, emphasizes whole grains as well, and fish and nuts too, as well as low-fat dairy products, so like 2% or skim milk, or low-fat, no-fat yogurt, and then saturated fat, sodium, and red meat and added sugars are recommended to be kept low on this diet. So the MIND diet also emphasizes those plant-based foods. So plenty of legumes, nuts, whole grains, fruits and vegetables, as well as poultry and fish, limiting the added sugar, limiting the saturated fat. So the more specific recommendations for the MIND diet include 2 or more servings of the leafy green vegetables per day. So 1 serving of leafy greens includes, like if it's cooked or sauteed, like a cup, or if it's just raw, 2 cups is 1 serving. There's emphasis on fruits in general, but more specifically berries too. So the recommendation for berries is 2 or more servings per week. So like any kind of berries, 1 serving is a cup. So 2 servings of those leafy greens a day, 2 servings of berries a week, And then with whole grains, 3 or more servings a day. So a serving of whole grains is like a slice of whole wheat bread. It is, half a cup of a cooked grains like rice or pasta, and then 1 cup of like a dry cereal, like, whole grain Cheerios. So 3 or more servings of those a day, and really emphasizing those minimally processed grains. And then nuts. So like I said, emphasis on those healthy fats. So 5 or more servings a week. So one serving is about like an ounce. It's like a palm full, like that much, not a whole handful, just like a palm full. 5 or more servings of nuts a week. In terms of beans, 4 or more servings a week. So a serving of beans is like half a cup of cooked beans. So like your chickpeas or black beans, kidney beans, pinto beans. Seafood, 1 or more servings a week. Focus on the fatty fish. So like your salmon, mackerel, sardines, so those good healthy fats. And then poultry, 2 or more servings a week. With your poultry, you want to choose the lean cuts of poultry without the skin on there too. So that's the general guidelines for the MIND diet, which is, a diet that research has shown may reduce the risk of developing Alzheimer's. So. But, in general, this diet is pretty much the basis of any healthy diet, incorporating plenty of fruits and vegetables, having your whole grains, having your healthy fats, choosing lean proteins. So, okay. So the topic of the day is nutrition as you age. So like I said, as your body ages, it's important to make sure that you're providing yourself with nutrients, both micro and macronutrients that help you to maintain, muscle, bone mass, and to avoid deficiencies. As someone ages, they might find that they have loss of appetite or difficulty chewing or swallowing, or loss of flavors. Foods lose their flavor. So we'll talk about that. So one thing to keep in mind is hydration. As you age, you may also lose a sense of thirst. So it's important to remember to have something to sip on throughout the day. At least 8 cups is the minimum for what we need. When we're exercising, when we need more, when it's cold or hot out, our body has to work harder to maintain, a homeostatic temperature. So we need more water when it's hot and cold out, when we're sweating as well. So, you don't have to be sipping on plain water. It can be iced tea, it can be seltzer water, it can be fruit infused water. Just look out for beverages that contain a lot of added sugars. So like, certain juices, sodas, sports drinks like Gatorade, Powerade, lemonades, some sweetened iced teas, those tend to have a lot of sugar in them. So look out for those. So another thing too is to loosely plan your healthy meals. So as you age, you might lose your appetite. So it's important to remember that regardless, you should plan to have something healthy to eat every 3 to 4 hours. Your body needs some sort of nourishment every 3 to 4 hours. So, if you're losing your appetite, you're not hungry as often. Having smaller, more frequent meals might help so that you're not overwhelmed by like 3 large meals. So having 5 or 6 meals every couple of hours, sort of like well-balanced snacks that include a protein and a carbohydrate. But like, a healthy meal, doesn't have to be anything fancy. If you don't like to cook, a peanut butter and jelly on a whole wheat, tortilla or or bread with a cheese stick and a piece of fruit is a perfectly well-balanced meal. Or like lentil soup with like a whole wheat bun or whole wheat crackers on the side. Scrambled eggs or hard-boiled eggs, however you like your eggs, with a piece of whole wheat toast and some fruit counts too. Or that's a perfectly well-balanced meal. If you're losing your appetite and you're finding that you're really struggling to get enough calories in the day, then opting for those super calorie nutrient dense foods. So when I say calorie dense, I mean foods that have a lot of calories in a small amount. So it's easy to have a couple bites and get a good amount of calories in. So that includes nuts or nut butters, so like peanut butter, almond butter, or trail mix. Seeds, eggs, avocado on toast is great, and high-fat dairy products too can give you a lot of calories. Olive oil, so putting olive oil on your salads, on your sandwiches, on roasted vegetables, that can help too. And fatty fish as well is really high in those healthy fats and is rather calorie dense too. So if you find that you have difficulty chewing or swallowing, then soft foods or liquids might be easier for you. So doing like protein smoothies or shakes. Um, Soups are great, oatmeal, yogurt, nut butters, peanut butter, eggs, soft scrambled eggs or soft boiled eggs. Cheese is good too. And then if you find that like raw fruits and vegetables are a little bit too hard to chew and or swallow, then like the cooked or canned fruits or vegetables are a lot softer and are perfectly, can be nutritious. If you're getting canned fruits, look for fruits that are canned in their own juice with no sugar added, not in the syrup. And then when you're looking for your canned vegetables, look for like the low sodium option. Canned chicken and tuna are a good soft protein as well. If you find that your food is losing flavor as you age, flavor your foods with different herbs and spices. Limit using sodium to flavor or to enhance the flavor of your food, just because most of us get too much sodium in our diet anyways, and that can lead to high blood pressure, kidney issues, fluid retention, all sorts of things like that. So instead, experiment with herbs and spices. I like the Mrs. Dash sodium or salt-free seasoning, or do chutneys or salsas, tomato sauces, citrus, different flavorings that you can use other than sodium. Pepper's fine. Some nutrients that become especially more important as you age is vitamin D for bone health. So you can get vitamin D from the sun. Most of us don't get enough from the sun, especially in New England in the winter and in the fall, but even in the summer, a lot of us don't get enough. You can get that in fortified milk. So fortified, cow's milk, or if you get like an almond or a soy milk, a lot of the time that's fortified as well. Fortified juice. Mushrooms have some vitamin D. Salmon, tuna, sardines, liver does. If you like liver, you can take the cod liver oil pills, and then sometimes cereals are fortified with it as well. You can look for it on the nutrition facts label and see how much vitamin D is in there. When it comes to calcium, dairy also has that in it too. So like yogurt, milk, cheese. Fortified beverages, so like plant milks will have calcium fortified, as well as juices. And then your dark leafy greens have calcium as well, so like bok choy, spinach, kale, broccoli, edamame has it too, and almonds as well have a little bit of vitamin D. Some older adults might not be as efficient at absorbing vitamin B12 too. So vitamin B12 is found in animal products, so like meat, fish, seafood. It's in some fortified cereals as well. So something to keep in mind. You can get a supplement too. But as always, whole food is better than a supplement if you can. And potassium as well. So potassium is important. Making sure that you're getting enough potassium along with limiting your sodium intake can help lower your risk of high blood pressure. So potassium is found in just all fruits and vegetables are rich in potassium, as well as beans and dairy products too. And lastly, protein is important to reduce muscle mass loss as you age. It's called sarcopenia. In older individuals, you tend to start to lose your muscle mass. We want to kind of avoid that. So get enough protein, include protein at every meal, at every snack too. If you can, vary your protein sources. So don't just have just chicken. Try, chicken, turkey, seafood, low-fat dairy products. Plant-based proteins are so good. Beans, nuts, seeds, soy products. Quinoa is really good too. So that's pretty much everything for my mailbag for today. So that was nutrition as you age and the mind diet for Alzheimer's. Um, so yeah, if anybody has any questions, as always, message me on Facebook or you can email me. I'll drop my email below right now. And I'll be back here. I can't believe it's almost August. I'll be back here on August 7th for another Maddie's Nutrition Mailbag. And have a great weekend, and I'll see you guys back here next week.